So in part 1 I was discussing about the output power of a DC generator. So I was here and was discussing output power of a developed by a DC generator. So DC generator, basically power is generated in the armature, and after this armature there is a losses like field losses, armature winding losses, windage friction losses, and so many. After deducting all here, power is developed. This is your field, this is our field resistance, here armature resistance is also there. So average power output here, P average is P output power, P output power will be, here power developed is PA is the developed power, and output power is we are getting here. So we are getting after deduction of the losses from the power generated here, or we can say in other words the output power plus the losses, all the losses is equal to average armature power developed by the generator, because whatever power will be available here, the same power is being utilized as losses plus output power available at the terminal if it is generator. So this relation is written here. In case of DC generator, the prime mover supplies friction, windage and iron losses. In case of DC generator, prime mover supplies friction, windage and iron losses, because if it is generator, it has to be rotated by prime mover or some external means. So friction and windage losses will be taken care by this prime mover. Means prime mover has to compensate these losses. Armature supplies its own copper field winding losses. Amount of friction, windage and iron loss may be taken as 1/3 of total loss. So whatever loss is there, so there is a rule that we will assume that 1/3 of the loss will be in the friction, windage and iron losses. So this relation is P average is written as output power plus armature copper loss plus field copper loss. Whatever armature is getting here, so field loss plus armature copper loss. So this relation we can also write that input power minus friction, windage and iron losses. So input power here we are giving by means of prime mover. So this input power minus friction and windage losses. So this relation N is here efficiency. So efficiency equal to output power by input power. So P in equal Pi will be equal to P output by efficiency. So this is written as here, and 1/3 it is assumed minus total losses. So this is P by N minus 1/3, and total losses is input power minus output power. So in this equation can also be written P by efficiency minus 1/3, and again input power, this is P by N minus output power is P. So after P by N minus P/3, P is taken common here, so 1/N minus 1 is coming. So this is the final average power relation of generator, DC generator. Now we will see the average power output of a DC motor. So average power of DC, this is average power of DC motor. So in this case the average power of this topic is DC motor output power. So in this case we will see how much power we are getting. This topic is power by DC motor. Early I have calculated for DC generator. In case of DC motor, armature copper loss and field copper loss are taken from supply, and friction and windage losses are supplied by armature. Here in generator the case is just opposite. In this case input power is given from the supply. Here input power, P input power is given here, and friction and windage power, windage and friction iron losses are supplied by armature. Armature means friction loss and wind, because it is rotating, and rotating by taking the power from the supply, so the losses is subtracted from the armature power here. So average power here is output power, friction, windage and iron losses. So it is P output power plus 1 by 3 total losses, and P plus 1 by 3 total losses input power minus output power, and this is P plus again input power, P by output power by efficiency minus output power. So it will be P plus P is taken common here. So after solving this equation we will get this relation like this. Means here output power is P by P multiplied by 1 plus twice efficiency divided by thrice efficiency. So this is the relation for DC motor output power, and another relation we have already taken. This is the relation for generator average output power. So now see what are the factors that will affect the design of our machine. This topic is factors affecting the size of rotating machine. What size of rotating machine? Output equation of DC machine reflect that product of d square L will decrease with increase of speed and or output coefficient. So this very important part, means the output power of a DC machine reflects that product d square L will decrease with increase of speed. Means if speed is high, this term will decrease. So d square L equal to P by this relation P average already calculated in previous lecture number 1. You will see this value is already derived. So d square is P by C naught. C naught is the output power and N is the speed. So this term is inversely proportional to speed. If speed is more, then this term will be less. If speed is less, this term will be more. Product d square L reflect the volume of the effective part of the rotating machine. This is, in fact, this is the volume, because d is the diameter and L is the length. So diameter square pi d square by 4. This is the area and multiplied by L. This term you can see this for the time being. It is neglect constant. So d square into L. So this whole term is in fact volume. Hence decrease in its value ultimately reduce the size and cost. If we will be able to decrease this value, we will be able to decrease the size, and hence consequently cost will be also decreased. So d square L value is the critical value we have to consider its designing. Speed, volume of active part of rotating machine varies inversely proportional to speed. This is the volume. Volume is inversely proportional to speed. Volume. For the same output, a machine designed with greater speed will have a smaller size and hence lesser cost. So that is why for a machine which has large speed, the volume will be small. So we design a machine in such a way its speed becomes high and its volume will be small, so it takes lesser space and cost will be reduced also. When the speed is not a specific criteria, highest practical speed should not be selected. If a speed is not criteria, suppose we are not considering the speed, then still we should not select highest practical speed. The output coefficient also here, this output coefficient is PA divided by d square into L, and all this value if you put P, and this value is coming like this. So this value output power is, this is your magnetic loading, this is your electric loading, this is electrical loading, and this term is magnetic loading. So this output is depending on the electrical as well as magnetic loading. So output coefficient is given here, and we have to consider all these things. So in designing of a machine, so a speed and volume is the very critical parameters. A speed and volume is the very critical parameter. We have to consider its role by considering this relation. If you increase the speed, the size of the machine will be a small, volume will be a small, and by a small volume the cost of the machine will be reduced also.